We are discussing the concept of coordinate system. So you have got the basic introduction. It consists of two perpendicular axes. One is the x-axis, the other is y-axis, and their point of intersection is defined as origin. So that using this coordinate system, we can locate any point in the plane with the two coordinates. One is x coordinate, another one is y coordinate. X coordinate is the perpendicular distance from y-axis. Y coordinate is the perpendicular distance of the point from x-axis. So they will be mentioned as an ordered pair to locate a point in the plane. Of course, you have learnt a coordinate system consists of four quadrants, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, and you have come across how will be the signs of x and y coordinates in different quadrants that you have learnt already. Once recollect all those points. Apart from this, I have told you intercepts means the point at which your line or your curve in the coordinate system is going to cut the coordinate axis. We call them as intercepts. At the x-intercept and y-intercept you have learned. At the same time, you have come across another point which is slope. It is the inclination of a straight line that is made with the positive direction of x-axis, which is given by the formula m equal to tangent. These are all the things you have learned. Of course, in the earlier class, I have introduced a point to you which is a graph. So a graph is a diagrammatic representation that is given to a mathematical equation. Of course, in the coordinate system, we can have two variables. One is x, another one is y. For example, you take here a mathematical equation x plus 2y equal to 3 is a linear equation in two variables. It's a mathematical equation, may not be linear or not, that's different, but equation in two variables. Now I can write this equation as 2y is equal to 3 minus x, so that y is equal to 3 minus x by 2. So what can you understand here? The value of y depends on x. Sir, then what about x? X, you may take x equal to 1, you may take x equal to 2, and you may take x equal to minus 1, you may take x equal to minus 2. As per the value of x, y is going to change. Like y equal to 3 minus 1 by 2 means 1, because 2 by 2. X equal to 2, 3 minus 2 by 2, 1 by 2 means 0.5. X equal to minus 1, 3 minus of minus 1, 3 plus 1, 4, 4 by 2, 2. X equal to minus 2, minus of minus of plus, 3 plus 2, 5 by 2, 2.5. So if you are going to change x value, then the value of y is going to change. That's the reason why I call x is independent variable. Independent variable. Variable but independent. Whereas y can be taken as dependent variable because y depends on x. You see, for example, while learning kinematics, equations of motion, you have learned that if a body moving with uniform acceleration, the displacement equation s equal to ut plus half at square. A for constant acceleration, u for initial velocity. S for displacement of the body in the time interval of t seconds. So in that particular equation, A is constant acceleration, u is initial velocity, which are remaining same in the given case. But the time changes. Time don't stay somewhere else. Time interval is going to change during the motion of your body. So the time is independent variable. It will not depend on anybody. Time goes on itself. So time is independent variable, but the displacement of the body will be depending on the time interval. So that the displacement is dependent variable. On which it depends? On t. So I can say simply displacement is function of time. I can say. Here time is independent variable, displacement is dependent variable. Similarly, when you are saying y equal to f of x, then y is a function of x, where x is independent variable and y is dependent variable. You connect like this, you can understand easily. How time is independent variable and displacement of the body is a dependent variable in that. See, in this mathematical equation, y is a function of x. So that if the change in value of x is taken, then there is a change in the value of y. Now, as per this analysis, we can take the ordered pairs x equal to 1, y equal to 1, x equal to 2, y equal to 0.5, x equal to minus 1, y equal to 2, x equal to minus 2, y equal to 2.5. In this way, you come across few ordered pairs. These ordered pairs should be mentioned in this graph, in this coordinate system. X equal to 1, y equal to 1. See here, x equal to 1, y equal to 1. This is the location. X equal to 2, but y equal to 0.5. X equal to 2 here, y equal to 0.5 here somewhere. X equal to minus 1, y equal to 2. X equal to minus 1, y equal to 2 here. X equal to minus 2, y equal to 2.5. Minus 2, 2.5 somewhere, because here 2 and above this 2.5 somewhere else. So here minus 2 and 2.5 like this. Minus 1 and 2. X equal to 1, y equal to 1. X equal to 2, y equal to 0.5. Like this, you need to locate the respective ordered pairs in the coordinate system. If you are going to join all these points, then you will get either a straight line or a curve. Need not to be a straight line always. You need to join all the points with your free hand. Then the shape on joining all those ordered pairs in the coordinate system, the shape obtained may be a straight line, may be a curve. But whatever the diagrammatic representation, whatever the shape that is obtained on joining all these ordered pairs locations in the coordinate system, we call it as a graph. Of course, here it will be a straight line like this, of course. This is a straight line. So, a graph is a diagrammatic representation given to a mathematical equation. Your mathematical equation is y equal to f of x. Y is a function of x. If the values of x are changing, then the values of y are going to change. So x is independent variable. So on x-axis we have to take independent variable. On y-axis we have to take dependent variable, where y is a function of x. And these ordered pairs should be located in the coordinate system. Then we get the graph. That graph may be a straight line, may be a curve. Of course, the shape of the graph or the nature of the graph, everything will be according to the mathematical equation. You will come to know, wait. So the conclusion. A graph is a diagrammatic representation given to a mathematical equation using a coordinate system. The graph may be a straight line or a curve which will be according to the mathematical equation. Now, your graph, either straight line or curve, is going to cut the y-axis at one particular point. Then we call it as y-intercept. It may cut x-axis at some other point. We call it as x-intercept. Means the points at which your graph, either straight line or curve, it may be like this also. It may be like this. Once look at this. Your graph is a curve. Your curve is going to cut the coordinate axis at two different points. Those are called intercepts. This is x-intercept and this is y-intercept and this is x-intercepts. This is what you need to understand. And later, this graph will make some angle with positive direction of x-axis, I told you. Then slope of the graph will be m equal to tan theta. We discussed a little about the concept of slope of the graph. Hope it is clear. So you have got what is meant by a graph and what are the intercepts. We discuss a little more. We discuss a little more. Especially here we do concentrate. If the graph is a straight line, how to come across the slope? If the graph is a curve, how to come across the slope? Here once look at this x-axis and this is y-axis. For example, your graph is a straight line like this. On joining all the points in the coordinate system, you have got your graph is a straight line. Sometimes your graph may be a curve. When it is a curve, when it will be a straight line, you will come to know. You just wait. So your graph may be a straight line or your graph may be a curve on joining the different points in the coordinate system. What are these points? I told you. When y is equal to f of x, for different values of x, take the different values of y, then you will get ordered pairs x comma y. All those ordered pairs you will locate in the coordinate system, you will join them, then you will get a graph. Maybe a straight line, maybe a curve. Whenever your graph is a straight line, then to calculate the slope of the graph, you measure the angle made by the straight line with the positive direction of x-axis, this angle. Because this is the positive direction of x-axis. That's why you need to take this angle. Then slope of the graph m equal to tan theta. The very interesting point is, at every point on this straight line, at any point on this straight line, measure the angle with the positive direction of x-axis, which remains the same. This is positive direction of x-axis. Of course, this is origin. This is positive direction of x-axis. Measure the angle with the graph, which is theta. As your graph is a straight line, at any point on that straight line, the angle made by the line with the positive direction of x-axis remains same. That means slope remains constant. Slope of this straight line remains constant at every point on this straight line. That's why you can note down a conclusion. If the graph is a straight line, slope of the graph remains constant at every point on it. At every point. Sir, no sir, my graph is a curve. Then how do I come across this slope? Yes. Whenever your graph is a curve, for example, at this point you wish to know the slope. Then draw a tangential line to the curve at that particular point. At this point, when you wish to calculate slope of the graph, slope of the curve, draw the tangential line at that particular point. Then this angle made by the tangent with the positive direction of x-axis will give the slope m equal to tan theta 1. Sir, no sir, I don't want to find the slope at that point. I wish to find the slope at this particular point, at this point. Then draw the tangential line at that particular point here. A tangential line should be drawn at that particular point. 1 second. A tangential line should be drawn at that particular point. Then this tangential line is going to make an angle with positive direction of x-axis. Then slope at that particular point will be m equal to tan alpha. So when you wish to calculate the slope of the graph at a particular point and your graph is a curve, then draw the tangent line to the curve at that particular point and measure the angle made by the direction of positive x-axis. This is positive x-axis. Here it is x. Sorry, here it is x. As it is a curve, the angle made by the tangent at a different points will be different. Here the tangent makes an angle theta 1. Here the tangent makes an angle alpha. Here the tangent makes an angle beta. So that slope of the curve varies from one point to another point. So the conclusion is, when you have drawn a graph using a coordinate system, your graph may be a straight line or may be a curve which will be according to your mathematical equation. If your graph is a straight line, at any point, your straight line makes same angle with the positive direction of x-axis, so that the slope of the straight line remains constant, remains same at every point on the straight line. But if your graph is a curve, then slope of the curve varies, changes from one point to another point. How to find slope of the curve at a given point? Yes, you have to draw a tangent line to the curve at that particular point. The tangent makes some angle with positive direction of x-axis. Then m equal to tan theta will give slope of the curve at that particular point. So when you are comparing your graph straight line and your graph is a curve, if you are comparing, their properties are, in the case of a straight line, the slope of the graph remains constant everywhere. In the case of a curve, the slope of the graph changes from one point to another point. So what you have learned? What is meant by graph and what will be slope of the graph, how it will be for a straight line and for a curve. Now we discuss under what conditions my graph is a straight line. Under what conditions I can expect my graph is a curve. And what will be the mathematical equation? Because I am telling you, based on the mathematical equation, you can guess whether your graph is a straight line or a curve. And what is slope of the graph? Everything you can expect from a given mathematical equation. That we are going to discuss now. Once note down this. When you are expecting your graph is a straight line, usually there are certain mathematical equations of a certain standard forms what you need to understand. For example, if your mathematical equation is of the form y equal to m into x. Yes, what you are expecting is right. M is slope of the graph. M represents the slope of the graph. X is independent variable. Y is dependent variable. So if any mathematical equation is of the format y equal to m into x, then the graph is a straight line passing through origin. Your graph is a straight line passing through origin. This is, for example, here y is equal to 3x. Then if you are going to take a graph x, y, then our graph is a straight line passing through origin in this way. This is your graph. Of course, what you are expecting, this 3 represents slope of the graph. Yes, certainly. If your straight line makes some angle alpha here, you can write slope m equal to tan alpha, that equal to 3. Because in this mathematical equation y equal to m into x, this m represents slope of the graph, and moreover, according to this mathematical equation, your graph will be a straight line passing through origin. Mathematically, there may be a lot of concepts to extend this and to discuss on this. But as per the concepts of physics, what are required, we are going to discuss in a limitizing manner. Don't forget that. And here, if you understand this equation, and you can explain a little bit more about this. In the earlier class, you have learned in kinematics, if a particle moving with uniform velocity, I repeat, when a particle moving with uniform velocity, then the displacement equation S equal to Vt. Do you remember this? Especially this equation can be written only when a particle moving with uniform velocity. Displacement equal to velocity into time. Do you remember this? S equal to Vt. Why I am telling this? You can analyze a graph between displacement and time. But you see, the time values should be mentioned along the x-axis and the displacement values should be taken along y-axis. Because time is independent variable and displacement is dependent variable. And here displacement equal to velocity into time, resembling y equal to m into x. Then what you can conclude? Your graph is a straight line passing through origin in this way. But don't get into this fourth quadrant like this. Don't get into third quadrant. Don't get into the third quadrant. Don't come like this. The reason is, here in third quadrant, x coordinate is negative. X coordinate means time. Time never be negative. That's why your line don't exist in third quadrant. Even in second quadrant, where time is negative, which is a contradiction. So then you have drawn here. Here it is simply x is some variable, y is some variable, which can take both positive and negative values. But coming to the physical quantities, you should be careful. They are random variables. So when you are applying to physics, this is what you need to learn. So displacement versus a time graph is a straight line passing through origin with a constant slope. If this makes an angle theta, then slope equal to m equal to tan theta, which is constant. Of course, you have to expect by this time, as the displacement equal to velocity into time, resembling y equal to m into x, that means the slope of displacement versus a time graph, whenever you have taken displacement versus a time graph, then the slope gives the velocity. This is what physics, connecting with mathematics. So the conclusion is the equation y equal to mx represents a graph which is a straight line passing through origin with constant slope, where m represents slope. Connect with physics. When a body moving with uniform velocity, I know that s equal to vt, resembling y equal to m into x. So that when I am analyzing displacement versus a time graph, displacement on y-axis, time on x-axis, this term velocity resembles the slope of the graph. So that is the reason why slope of displacement time graph will give velocity. Let me give more data on this. Here I am taking displacement versus time graph for two different bodies. What I am taking? A graph. For whom? Displacement versus time. Means I am talking about s is a function of t. Of course it is true, because when we are moving from one place to another place, the displacement depends on time. So when I have studied how do the displacement of a body varies with the time, when I have studied and I have taken a graph, you know how to draw a graph, locating the ordered pairs of s and t in the coordinate system, joining them, you will get a graph. Now I am connecting with this. So when you have studied displacement of your body varying with the time, then you have drawn a graph for one particular body which is A, and the graph is a straight line passing through origin and is making some angle here 30 degrees. At the same time, you have studied the motion of another body whose displacement versus the time graph is also a straight line passing through origin, but this time the angle made by the line is 45 degrees. So what I am showing, I have studied how do the displacement of A and B varying with the time, and I have drawn displacement versus time. In both cases, I have come across the graph is a straight line passing through origin. But in the case of A, the straight line makes 30 degrees with the positive direction of x-axis. In the case of B, it makes 45 degrees. What can you say from this? Yes, there is a lot to say. The slope of the straight line for A is a tan 30 degrees, which is equal to 1 by root 3. Tan 30 degrees. Theta is equal to 30. If you want to write here. But in the case of B, it is slope is a tan 45 degrees, which is equal to 1. You know the slope of displacement versus a time graph will give velocity. So this is velocity of A and this is velocity of B, which is constant, because your straight line represents that slope is constant. Slope of ST graph represents velocity. So the velocity of A and B are constants. A moving with constant velocity, B moving with constant velocity. But the velocity of A is 1 by root 3 and the velocity of B is 1. So you can expect easily this is 1 by root 3, this is 1. So that VA less than VB. Means the speed of B is more than that of A. See the interesting point. Where we have started with a general form of an equation y equal to mx, like y is equal to 3x. And we have connected with physics. See what concepts that we are trying to discuss and we are able to discuss. This is what the coordinate system that is applicable in physics. So we have dealt with only one equation till now. Still few more equations. So what is the equation? Y equal to mx is the equation. We discuss few more once not down. Yes, here we are going to discuss another mathematical equation which is of the format y equal to mx plus c. Here is another mathematical equation y equal to mx plus c. This mathematical equation represents a straight line. Any mathematical equation of that format will have a graph which is a straight line but will not pass through origin. It will not pass through origin. Sir, then as it is not passing through origin, then what can you say about this? Yes, coming to the point. Once look at this. When you are going to analyze the graph for a mathematical equation y equal to mx plus c, x and y are the variables. X is independent variable, y is dependent variable. But m is slope of this particular straight line which is constant. And here what is c? Yes, coming to that. C is y-intercept. Means the straight line is going to cut the y-axis at one particular point which is y-intercept represented by c. So any mathematical equation of the format y equal to mx plus c represents a straight line that is not passing through origin. Just for some time, once look at this. Once look at this. Here your graph is a straight line here. Of course, this is x-intercept, you know very well, and this is y-intercept. Suppose, for example, it is going to cut the x-axis at 3 units, x equal to 3, and it is going to cut the y-axis at y is equal to 5. For some time you suppose, there is no issue. So x-intercept is called 3, y-intercept is called 5. This c represents y-intercept. That's what you need to understand. That c represents y-intercept. You know, this straight line makes some angle with positive direction of x-axis, you know. Then the slope m equal to tan theta. So any straight line of the equation y equal to mx plus c will be a straight line that is not passing through origin. To understand more clearly, let me give an example. Like y equal to 2x plus 5. Look at this. Y equal to 2x plus 5. So resembling y equal to mx plus c. So in this particular equation, m is equal to 2 and c is equal to 5. So where the graph is a straight line. Sometimes you come across a mathematical equation like this. Once look at this. 3x minus 2y plus 1 equal to 0. 3x minus 2y plus 1 equal to 0. Of course, I think you are familiar. It's a linear equation in two variable. Generally, when that mathematical equation is given and there is a question that how will be the graph for this mathematical equation, then immediately people do say, so we have not discussed that. We have discussed y equal to mx, we have discussed y equal to mx plus c, but it's differently like some ax plus by plus c equal to 0, ax plus by plus c equal to 0, which is a linear equation in two variable. Then you people will say, my sir has not discussed this point. No, this mathematical equation even can be transformed into this format. Once look at this. 3x plus 1 equal to 2y. Then 3x plus 1 by 2 equal to y. Then y equal to, you can write this as 3 by 2 into x plus 1 by 2. So this is of the format y equal to mx plus c. Means here the slope of the straight line, first point, this mathematical equation is transformed into y equal to mx plus c. So whose graph is a straight line with constant slope m equal to 3 by 2 and y-intercept c is equal to 1 by 2. This is what you need to understand. But here is only an interesting point that you need to understand. Sometimes when y is equal to mx plus c, here I have given one example. This is one example. This is second example. This is third example. You need to consider. Don't connect all the together to one point. This is one example with slope m equal to tan theta and y-intercept 5. This is another example with m equal to 2 and y-intercept 5. This is another example with m equal to 3 by 2. This is x-axis and this is y-axis. Y-intercept is 1 by 2, of course plus 1 by 2. M equal to 3 by 2. Here only there is an interesting point. Sir, m equal to 3 by 2, 1.5. Shall I take the graph like this? People may get the doubt. No, sorry, this will not be the graph for this. The reason is, your line is going to make some angle with x-axis which is greater than 90 degrees. Whenever this angle is greater than 90 degrees, tan theta value will be negative. For theta greater than 90. For theta less than 90, tan theta value will be positive. In this particular example, this is example 3. In this particular example, the slope is positive. If you have drawn a straight line like this, your straight line makes an angle more than 90 degrees, so slope is negative. But here your slope is positive. Then your straight line should not be like this. Your straight line should be in such a way where the angle should be less than 90. Of course, y-intercept positive means your straight line should be like this. Y-intercept 1 by 2 only, but here this angle is less than 90. Then your slope can be positive. Similarly, here also, here in this case, your slope is negative and y-intercept is positive. But here your slope is positive, y-intercept also positive. See second example, your slope is positive, y-intercept positive. So whatever you have understood, let me give more clarity. Take a mathematical equation y equal to mx plus c, whose graph is a straight line which will not pass through origin. Here the c represents y-intercept. The line cuts the y-axis and the particular point is y-intercept. M represents the slope. But here when we are taking a mathematical equation of the format y equal to mx plus c, first I may come across the slope is negative, y-intercept is positive. Because theta greater than 90, slope is negative. Your graph is a straight line not passing through origin, so represents y equal to mx plus c. But m is negative, y-intercept positive. See the second example, y equal to mx plus c. M is positive, c also positive. See the third example, y equal to mx plus c. M is positive, c also positive. So you should not draw like this for third example, because here m is negative. So what is the conclusion you need to draw from all this explanation is, a straight line y equal to mx plus c represents different ways in which m is positive, c is positive. M positive, c may be negative. M negative, c may be positive. Both m and c are negative. All these four possibilities are there, but y equal to mx plus c represents a straight line which is not passing through origin. How many possibilities we have in this particular equation? 4 possibilities. Let us see. All the 4 possibilities of y equal to mx plus c. Hope you all have noted down. Keep the video in pause. In middle, keep the video in pause, and you can note down all this important information. I don't need to wait here because you have an option pause. Keep it in pause and note down. That's it. Am I raising? These are all examples, of course, to understand what is y equal to mx plus c and what are the possibilities. But the main point that you need to note down here, what we are going to discuss now. When we are dealing with y equal to mx plus c, what possibilities we have? First, m is positive, c is positive, first possibility. Slope must be positive, y-intercept positive. Slope positive means the straight line should make an angle less than 90 degrees. Once look at the graph. Here, x-axis, y-axis, here is your graph. Look at this. This line makes an angle theta less than 90 degrees, and here is the y-intercept, which is positive y-intercept. Example, y equal to x plus 3. Of course, m equal to 1 here. Next possibility. M is positive, but c is negative. M positive, c negative. Look at this graph. X-axis, y-axis. M should be positive, means your straight line should make an angle less than 90 degrees. Theta less than 90, don't forget. And c negative, if I have drawn like this, theta less than 90, okay, but our c is positive, then which is a contradiction? Yes. So theta less than 90 is not enough. Should satisfy the point c is negative. That is the reason why this is not the graph in this particular situation. When m is positive, c is negative, this is okay, theta less than 90. But if you are drawn like this, as here theta less than 90, m is positive, do you satisfy with the point c negative? No. Then what to do? Yes. That is all I am giving. Have you understood the contradiction? Yes. So now you should take in this way. Hope you got clarity. I am giving few contradictions to give you more clarity. X-axis, y-axis. Now y-intercept must be negative. So you should take like this your graph. Here theta less than 90 and y-intercept is negative. See the interesting one. And now m positive, c negative, okay. M negative, c positive. M negative, c is positive. C positive means your straight line should intersect here, c positive. M should be negative, theta greater than 90. So this should be like this. This is your straight line. So the last case you can expect M negative, C also negative. So that once look at this graph. M negative, C should be negative. C negative means it should have y-intercept on negative y-axis here. So here C negative. M also should be negative. So theta greater than 90. That's why your line should be like this. Here theta greater than 90 with positive x-axis, and here C also negative. These are the different possibilities that we have for y equal to mx plus c. All are representing y equal to mx plus c. Look at this here. Y is equal to m positive, c negative. 2x minus 3 can be written as 2x plus of minus 3. Y equal to mx plus c. C negative, m positive. M negative, c positive. Y equal to minus 2x plus 1. M equal to minus 2, c equal to plus 1. M negative, c negative. Y is equal to minus 3x minus 4. M equal to minus 3, c is equal to minus 4. So, any mathematical equation y equal to mx plus c represents a straight line with constant slope. But there are different possibilities like this. Any of this shape represents a mathematical equation y equal to mx plus c. So you have learned two standard forms. One is y equal to mx, another one is y equal to mx plus c. Now what next you can expect? We need to connect this mathematics. We have discussed mathematics till now y equal to mx plus c. But this y equal to mx plus c should be connected with physics. We discuss in the next class. We have dealt already y equal to mx, mathematical concept. We have connected with physics, s equal to vt. One example I told you, that's it. There are many more examples in physics. As it is easy, according to your earlier class, I have given s equal to vt. Similarly, y equal to mx plus c, we have dealt with mathematics. Make sure you are up to the mark with this basics. I connect with physics in the next class and I give you few more mathematical forms. So, to say briefly, the concept of coordinate system you are learning, and especially here we are concentrating on the graph and the standard mathematical equation. For what mathematical equation, what will be the shape of the graph and how to find the slope of the graph and how to connect this graph and slope concept with physics. That we are going to discuss. So we continue in the next class. So once again I am giving a reminder here. Make sure that you are going to send all your doubts in WhatsApp to me. Be in touch with me so that collectively I take all your doubts and even I try to explain in the video class. Thank you.